We love talking about music. Arrow.net, ARROE.net. We are unplugged and totally uncut with Danny Rossi from the OutLiars.
Hello.
What's up, Rockstar? How you doing?
Hey, good. You're a big guy.
This is Arrow. So, man, I got to tell you, man, you're on this solo project right now that sounds like, oh, my God.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
I grew up in the state of Montana, so I totally understand the concept of Canadian music and how unique and it's its own brand, it's its own style. And I just when I was listening to the new song Intoxicated, I'm going, oh my God, this is the stuff that I really cherish in my life.
Oh man, that's the nicest thing I've heard in a long time, man.
So what is it about Canadian music? Because, I mean, we've had Rush, Anne Murray, Gordon Lightfoot, and even Chilliwack. What is it about your sound that makes it so unique and it's not so Americanized in the way of sounding like everything else?
I don't know. I guess it's the cold winters.
Shut up. Oh, my God. I totally get that.
It's partial freezing of the undercarriage a couple of months a year. I don't know.
Well, the new collection of music is called Dr. Groove, and when I first saw that, I went, "Oh, really? Now you have my attention," because everybody loves to get into a groove, especially right now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, it's a play on word. I used to joke around as a kid. My initials are DR, Danny Rossi. So I used to just say, "Trust me, I'm a doctor." Right? It was my joke. And basically, I'm writing groovy music. I want people to move when they hear it.
Well, you know what's really interesting about Intoxicated is the fact that you get right away, you spend maybe 35 seconds before you start harmonizing, and all of a sudden I'm going, wait a second, I want to jump in on this. I want to give you my harmony as well.
Yeah.
So I mean, because so many producers and directors and stuff like that go, you don't need to have the harmony, but boy, you jumped into it right away. So what was that like to sit down with your producer and engineer and say, look, this is what we're going to do, and we need to make that invitation for everybody?
Well, we basically I went into the studio. I sat there, and I'm like, dude, this is what I've been writing. And Kevin Jardine, I mean, he's a very well-known producer in Montreal. He was in a band called Slaves on Dope that toured Ozfest for years, many years ago. So, I mean, Kevin's been around the block, and he'll give his opinion. And sometimes I'll be like, no, dude, I want to do this.
Yeah.
Really? So trust me, and we're just open this way, and it's fun because I'm doing everything I really want to hear sonically. I showed him the basis of the song, example, this song, and then I'm like, okay, so now in the intro, we're going to overlay a dirty wah for that opening riff. He looks at me like I'm crazy. Yeah. I'm like, dude, I go, you know the way Slash will throw in a wah for reason? And he's like, yeah. I go, at the beginning of the song, the intro. And he's like, okay. And it wasn't, I think, until he started actually recording it, he recorded parts for me, and he's like, okay, I get it, the sound, yeah, you know.
Yeah. So now it started out as a concept collection of songs and stuff like that. I've been in that situation where you lay down the tracks and you put down the vocals, and then you go see the engineer. Is that the way that it worked out for you as well?
Some songs yes, some songs no. Mm-hmm. Some songs I went in. Because I needed stuff recorded so I can actually sit and concentrate on my melody. So we'd go in, I'd show him the song, he'd record a scratch track real quick, then we'd get the vibe going by putting some electronic drums that were one of his programs, whatever it's called, Easy Drummer or something. We just get an idea, then I take it home, and then I start pulling, I'll record bass line just to get an idea of the groove I want with the drums. And then it's like, okay, let's start recording the real track.
So when you put so much emphasis on the scratch track and stuff like that, there are many times I would just go in there and just screw around with a scratch track, and it's like how do you not go in there and do vocal damage or anything like that? Because you're just playing around and you're trying to take your vocals to a different level.
I let it happen naturally. I don't want to force vocals or melody. Sometimes. I have a song and I can't, let's say I got my electric guitar plugged in. I can't really think of a melody. I go, but music sounds so good to me. But then once I just pick up an acoustic guitar and I just strum the chords, I'm like, oh, here's the melody.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, see, that's
I'm
the
not
one.
gonna just force it.
That's the one thing that a lot of listeners don't understand is how important that acoustic guitar still is to music. You may have a rock edge, but that acoustic guitar is part of it.
Guaranteed. I mean, a song broken down with just the melody of the song and let's say 3, 4, 5 chords, whatever your song is, even if it's 2 chords, it should sound good broken down. And then adding electric guitar and the rest of the band should only enhance your strong vocal melody from the beginning.
Mm-hmm. So were the harmony...
Again, my opinion, I mean...
Were the harmonies overdubbing your voice, or was it everybody else that I've seen in the video?
No, that's all me.
Oh, yeah.
Overdubbing my own voice.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted I wanted that choir to really hit. And then Kevin took it one notch further by putting, in that little bridge part, just the females. And then when the song kicks back in, he knocks the 12 voices we got going there,
Oh, my God. Can you imagine just so I'm sure you were sitting there in the production room and stuff like that, in the studio when you were layering those tracks.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I had to call everybody, make sure Kevin's available, get everybody together, and watching it come together piece by piece.
Yeah. Relinquishing control. How did you find that? Because this was a solo effort when you've been so surrounded by other band members and stuff like that with the OutLiars and stuff. So when you're in there as a solo performer, I mean, do you have to think like a band?
It's definitely different and a heck of a lot of more work.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I'm like, because I love every instrument equally that brings a musical piece together. And I started as a teenager playing bass. This is before I played guitar or I sang. And I really want the bass to sound good. It's got a groove when it's time. It's got a simple when it's time for a certain song. I just don't want anything to be left out. It needs to be there.
What?
So you're constantly working on parts.
I'm so into that because I mean, even look at Geddy Lee and stuff like that. That bass guitar is so important to Canadian music.
Oh yeah.
And for what reason? I mean, I've read books and stuff like that where they say that the bass guitar is your mother's heartbeat. Do you believe in that theory?
I don't know if I believe in that theory. I think it's a heart because as a kid I just wanted to play bass and write songs and backup vocals. And I used to break chops in bands. Like bass should be doing something a little more. Can't you groove? Can't you give me something?
Right.
So, and it's not because I didn't like the way the person was playing, but it's like there's so much more you can do.
I love
especially
that.
in a single guitar player band.
I love that theory because it's always the bass guitarist that's the last in the band. Everybody else goes out and has a party, but the bass guitarist is stuck in the hotel room.
Sometimes, yeah.
So how has streaming music changed you? Because it really is the new age of Tower Records and Musicland.
I think the younger generations will never understand what it's like to hear a song on the radio, let's say a band's first single.
Right.
I'll give you an example from when I was young. We heard, what was it? You Could Be Mine by Guns N' Roses. coming out with the Terminator 2 movie. Then a hype to 2 albums, Use Your Illusion 1 and 2, being released on the same day. And so we're all waiting anxiously because, first of all, it's Guns N' Roses' new album we're waiting for, and secondly, the movie and the song, the single, hyped it up. So we used to go and we line up at the shopping center or at the music store, grab the album, and we couldn't wait to get home to pop it in our CD player.
Yep.
And the new generations are never going to have that anticipation the way it used to be. And like as you're listening to the songs, you're going through the liner notes and reading the lyrics along so you understand what they're saying. It was a different vibe.
Yeah.
It's awesome that it's more accessible. You can, you know what, this person released a new album, let me hear the track, and you have like 10 different sites easily to hear it. But you're still missing something good. There's that thrill. Or even better, when you did it with friends, you all got together and oh man, their new album came out, let's check it out. And you listened together, a listening party.
Yep.
It was awesome.
Yep.
And that was like kind of my youth, you know?
And before those CDs, I would get so upset because I would have to go home, take that plastic wrap off the album, and sit there and go, come on! And you could never just take it off. You had to sit there and find a pair of scissors and all that kind of stuff because the anticipation was just amazing before you put that needle on there.
Yeah. And then you break half the CD cases anyway, right?
Yes, we did. But this project, Dr. Groove, this wasn't a sit down. Okay, let's do a something new with music. You actually saved a lot of these riffs for many years.
Yeah, it's stuff I had lingering. Some stuff like very recently wrote. Other stuff that it may have been an idea that never went anywhere. And now I'm just, if it still sounds good now and I can make it into a song, I'm using it.
Yeah. So how do you know?
A lot of stuff was in the reject folder.
How do you know when a song is done?
It's never done.
I knew you'd say that.
It's never done. And even when I listen to this single, I'm like, maybe I could have, but you can't break your head over it. It's too late. And you know what? And what I don't want to do is have it sound over-processed and mechanical. I want it to feel good.
Yeah. I've noticed over the past 3 to 5 years that compression is no longer a musician's best friend. People are finally given the opportunity to let every instrument be heard, everything, have its own place in the song.
Oh, honestly, you have to. It loses so much feel.
Yep.
That over-processed and over-compressed. And, I'm such a music fan. I love discovering music. And I don't listen to anything but old stuff because I can't.
Well, if you only listen to the old stuff, how do you create the new stuff? Does that just come to you because the universe is speaking to you?
I guess so.
Yeah.
The higher powers, I don't know.
Yeah, because in a matter of months, you are the old stuff. All of a sudden, something's going to be, whoa, look at this song. It came out a year ago. Man, I love that stuff.
Yeah.
So while you're recording, Danny, do you ever think of the live audience, how they're going to record? I mean, to receive the music and stuff like that in an arena or even a small club, or do you sit there and say, I've got to do it my way. We'll figure out how to play it inside these live performances.
So I'm going to say a little bit of both because I want something people will remember quickly and be able to sing along. That I've always been a fan of music like that, and you can tell when it's being forced. Like in music, somebody thinks of something like maybe a catchphrase, but it's not really something that sings well, and it's forced into a song. Example, I don't like that.
Right. So
you could have called your song something else, and you're trying to make it something it's not, and maybe you ruined your song.
Yep. How important are analytics to you? Do you ever research a market and find out what songs are bigger in certain cities?
No.
Good.
I don't know. It doesn't. I don't care. I'll be honest. I don't care. I think the way somebody asked me not too long ago, how do you write music? And it's a girl I know. She plays guitar and she sings. She goes, "What do you do?" And I go, first of all, it's got to sound good. Your chords going together.
Yep.
And I go, and everything else comes from the heart. And I think the honesty goes a long way, because people feel it if you're not being real or sincere.
So when we see the OutLiars in concert, are they going to give you enough space where you can showcase this, or are we going to do like a Lindsey Buckingham of Fleetwood Mac where you have to go out on a solo journey yourself?
Well, it's funny you mentioned that because just the last Monday, I think, or Tuesday, a buddy messages me and he's like, "Hey, dude, do you want to play a quick set for a Halloween party?"
Oh, wow.
And it's one of the guys, it's actually a band where two of the guys were performing on this song. The same guy who played drums also sang, and then the singer of his band as well. He messaged me and says that. I'm like, well, dude, I don't really have a band, but let me see what my boys. So I messaged John and Max from the OutLiars. I go, "Guys, what do you think? A 30-minute set?" I said, "We could play the OutLiars song for sure." I said, "We also have a second song that's ready, or pretty much ready." I said, I would love if you guys would mind playing my song. I said, "John, you just released a solo EP or album, I can't remember." I said, "We can do one of your songs." I said, "And maybe a couple of covers. All we got to do is find a bass player." And they were like, "Yeah, man, I'm down." And then Max messages again. He's like, "You know what? What if we play something from my old band, their band called Falso, that toured the States a few years back?" So I'm like, "Yeah, dude, let's do everything."
See, that's what I love about that's what I love about modern day music, because I remember I would read articles in Cream and Rolling Stone and stuff like that where they would say that this artist couldn't appear on this collection of music because Arista or even Elektra and stuff like that would not give them approval to do it. I swear to God, today's music is all about, we're going to get together. There are no rules. We're going to collaborate.
Oh yeah. You can only collaborate with artists from the same record label.
So, yep. So true.
Let's do
So true. So are you going to travel down into the States or anything like that? Or, I realize, that, because, I remember when Colin from Men at Work came through Charlotte, and it was just him on that guitar. And it was like, my God, I love that. The fact that he was still able to create music as a solo performer. And even the members of the Moody Blues and things like that go out on their own just to share their expressions of music and stuff like that. Will you do that as a solo performer?
I haven't thought that far ahead.
Okay.
I'm going to be honest. I'm just so into this creation process right now.
Yeah.
And now this 30-minute set that's been thrown my way. And I still got to go back and finish recording my entire album. Decide on the name for it, too. So it's like I've got so much going on that if the opportunity arises, I don't think I would say no.
Yeah, this is the reason why you're a doctor, because doctors are always in education. They always have to go back and learn new things. See, you are a doctor.
Not a very good one.
Shut up. All right, where can listeners go to find out more about your new collection of music and everything else that you've been a part of? Because they need to know who you are. Like I said, we're in a new age of music where it's all about discovering sound.
I'm keeping it really simple. I have my Facebook page, which I haven't even created a Dr. Groove Facebook page. It's just my personal page, but everything will be on there for sure. I do have a Danny Rossi Dr. Groove Instagram, and I do share stuff on TikTok too. I don't do tortilla challenges, but I do put clips of the songs and me messing around in studio.
I love your attitude. You got to come back to this show anytime in the future, man. Danny, please come back through this door anytime.
I love it, and I would definitely will. That's for sure.
Well, you be brilliant today, okay, sir?
Thank you, bud. You too, man. Thanks for having me.